I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and the day we have been waiting for is finally here. The SolChicks token is launching today on Radium and Maxi. So I hope you're ready. To celebrate, I'm giving away one SolChicks NFT to a lucky winner. And this is not an ordinary NFT, it is specifically number 866, valued over $2,000. And you can win this by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and commenting down below in the comments your price prediction. How far are we going to the moon with the SolChicks launch today? Let me know. Do these 3 steps: like, subscribe, and comment in order to win. After the token generation event and the listing, we will select a winner. In this video, I will have a chat with one of the directors of SolChicks, a live Q&A to answer all of the questions that you might have about SolChicks. So make sure to watch until the end to have a full understanding. Of course, being an investor myself into SolChicks, I will give you a full moonsheet, a buy-in guide, how everything will work, and of course, a complete holding strategy. So sit tight and enjoy. All right, William, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to answer all our urgent questions. How are you feeling about today?
I'm super excited. I think, there's a lot of heartbeats going on, the adrenaline. Obviously, this is an important day, but it's not going to be the only day where we have a long way to go. This is, in my mind, just really day number 1, right? So we're going to be continue working on the product, on the vision, working really hard around the clock. You can see my mustache has grown so thick because I haven't been able to shave it. But there's a lot of work on going back in the background, irrespective of what happens. The goal here is to disrupt the traditional gaming market and come to market with something that's really, really high quality that doesn't exist right now. So we'll be continuing to do that, over the next 3 months to 9 months.
Right, because like you said, you being the CEO of SolChicks, you've been working on this project quite a long time. For most people, we've been hopping on this journey for like the last 6 to 8 weeks, right? Discovering about the amazing project you've built so far. What would you say after the launch actually happens? You got some major milestones coming up. What would be the next major thing for you on that short-term, medium-term timeline?
Yeah, you said most people have only been here 6 to 8 weeks. This entire project only started 12 weeks ago, right? We started at 0 12 weeks ago. So the amount of progress we've been able to make in the last 12 weeks is just phenomenal, right? There's no project that have moved as fast as us, come out with a demo in such a short period of time, and gain, the social traction and social following that we have in such a short period of time, as well as, we've broken a number of records, in that time as well. We have 400 private investors, 35 launch pads, right? A huge amount of people played our demo, right? So I think, I think that's been, that says a lot about the speed of execution that we're going along this path. And one thing I'm very fortunate to have is a really, really great team, both on the business side of things, the game development side of things, and the community side of things. And all of those 3 have worked very, very well. Today, we have somewhere between 70 to 100 people between our community and the business side and the game development side of things. That's a lot of people. We want to continue to bolster that up, especially on the game development side of things. And the plan is to have a alpha launch by March next year. Now, on the back of that to me is the next big milestone that we'll be targeting. Obviously, between now and then, we'll be doing a lot of work around listing on centralized exchanges, coming out with various, for example, we're completely redesigning the SolChick character. One thing that I'm not sure you noticed, but in the playable demo, they actually don't have long arms and long legs to actually do fighting attacks, right? So we'll be doing a complete redesign of the character. We'll be introducing all the characters on board of that. We'll be making them, the NFTs actually 3D, right? At the moment, they're 2D.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
And we will be doing our 3rd launch on a major CEX NFT launchpad, which details will actually come out in the next week. So
That's
there's
like
a lot
the 3rd
happening.
minting,
I think,
guys.
The third minting, exactly, right?
Right.
So we have a major centralized exchange that has said they want us to be on their platform for their
That's
mint,
good news.
and the exposure in terms of audience that they have will, I think, will ensure that that sale goes very, very well. And then shortly after, we'll have an equipment NFT sometime in the next 2 months. We'll come out with the staking and farming program, hopefully within the next 3 weeks. We will have a number of centralized exchanges who have been waiting for our day one volume. But as soon as they see our day one volume, they'll sign on board.
Right, exactly.
And then and then the complete redesign of the character, and then all of that leading into the alpha launch in March, right? So a lot happening
Awesome.
that the team are grinding out in the background.
Especially everything happening parallel, that's what I own a lot of businesses. That's why I think it's great that the team can keep up with the continuous demand for attention of like these crypto audiences, how they behave. That was
Correct.
originally why I committed to SolChicks. Was I've never seen a project where admins and moderators are this active, right, on this level. So that gained a lot of trust there. But obviously your timeline and then obviously the movement in the market parallel to it, right? If they don't add up, then things might get some bottlenecks. But so far, what you're saying sounds really good, specifically the NFT part of it, I have one question, if you don't mind, about the actual NFTs and breeding for the specific game. Right. One thing that has my main interest always on any NFT game that I review is the lending and borrowing. So I got an update, I think it was this morning or yesterday, it was posted about the lending and borrowing. That would all be part of the entire system, right? Apart from the breeding, like two major elements there.
Yeah, correct. So the lending and borrowing element will be part of the guild system. We will have an in-house guild system, right? Unlike an Axie, we want to do this in-house, right? Because I don't think it really makes sense to have an external party, managing and collecting all these things, right? So we'll do it in-house. We will have, and by the way, we will have, like, for example, a lot of guilds have started signing up to help us give advice on that process, right, of how it would work and how we would work hand on hands with existing guilds, right? So YGG Southeast Asia, one of the, probably the biggest guild, they're invested into us, and they've actually, they've also bought a large portion of our SolChicks. So we'll get advice from guilds on that, and then the breeding will be a separate component, right? So there'll be a breeding cost. You'll be able to pay that breeding cost in the form of tokens, and then you'll be able to get your SolChick once you hit a certain level. Again, a lot of work being done in the background to make sure that that mechanic actually works really well.
Right. Yeah, it would be like a nice core component, I believe, for any play to earn segment there, 100%. One final question before we go. I know the time is of the essence today. Regarding the amount of launch pads, some say, this is to get the highest reach, which what I would think, right, from a marketing point of view, this many launch pads, record breaking is always amazing. Then in addition to the reach, is there any other reason you decided to accumulate such an amount of launch pads?
Yeah, so it's largely from a marketing point of view. That's purely it, right? So if you look at our Twitter stats, right, 12 million people have viewed our profile in the last 25 days, right? Now, the reason why is because in part due to the amount of launch pads we had, right? When you look at the launch pads, a lot of them don't overlap in terms of their users, right? You'll get gaming launch pads, BSC launch pads, Solana launch pads, general crypto launch pads, launch pads for other various reasons, right? And the way I think about launch pads is that each of them have an audience somewhere between 50K to 200K on average, right? All of them sign up, and only usually between 5 to 10% of them actually get a ticket, right, to actually invest. And even when they get a ticket, they actually get a lot of them actually get rejected, right? Or they don't get the amount that they actually want. So the reason we did so many launch pads is because in a single, stroke, you can get such a broad, extensive reach in such a short period of time, right? So, to give you an example, right, TrustSwap, one of the largest launch pads, they were given a 1.2 or 1.3 million allocation. Within 2 hours, they had $15 million of pledges on their website, right? So, more than 90% of them actually missed out versus what they actually wanted. similar across a lot of launch pads that sold out in a few seconds, right?
Yeah, I was
And
there.
so where
I
we
mean,
think a
I
lot of
tried to, after the private sale, I tried to get more, and it went really fast. Even the Kickstarter on Maxi yesterday, the voting power was absolutely ridiculous. The hype is definitely at the all-time high right now.
Correct. So our belief is that if you have a good product, right, and people see that product, we should easily be able to convert them into buyers, whether it's on the launch pad if they can get a ticket, but otherwise on the secondary market or CEX afterwards, right? I think that's really played out because I have a huge belief that we are one of the premium products in the market, and that the progress that we've been able to make really stands out when versus other competitors who have been grinding out for like 12 months without a demo, or they come out with something but it's not that high quality, right? So I think that's the reason we went to. We think from a marketing point of view, people view our product, they'll love it, and I think that's generally the conception or the receptions that we've actually got over the period of time that we've actually gone out to market.
Perfect. I do agree. Well, let's leave it at that. Quality for the long term. Big moves ahead. There is, for this moment, 2.5 hours left until one of the biggest moments of the year, at least, I hope, for you and me. So let's see how that goes. And after that, obviously, I'll be here on this YouTube channel every single week with the SolChicks updates. William, thank you so much.
Yeah.
The best of luck
sorry,
today.
maybe one thing I want to also make obvious to probably your audience. We're actually going on a huge hiring spree right now, right? So across all levels, right? So if there's anyone that's interested in for being part of our team, please reach out. We're also, not only are we hiring people at all levels, including the C-suite, right, to really ramp up our experience and our knowledge, right, and our ability to execute very fast. We're also actually starting to look at potential game studios to go and buy and acquire, right? So, we really want to, accelerate the growth and, be number one. And so we're being super aggressive with hiring and moving really fast. So if any of the audience wants to come on board, please reach out. We're always looking for really great talent and motivated people to join, for example, whether it's community or join part of the core team or even you do random stuff. There's a lot to do.
Like me. Now, I'm sure you will get a lot of messages because we have a lot of smart people watching every single day. So that'll be great. Anything else you would like to add, William?
No, that's it. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. It was a pleasure talking with you. All the best for today and for the near future. I will keep coming with the updates. Have a good one.
And thank you. Thanks a lot, Colin. Really love your videos and support.
All right, so let's discuss the buying strategy. Let's say you don't have any SolChicks tokens at the moment, you did not participate in the public or private sale, and you want to get tokens. How does this work? What would be the right entry point? Nothing in this part of the video is financial advice, it is for entertainment purposes only. I will link all the important links in the description down below, so there is where you can find all the instructions. If you go to the SolChicks website, solchicks.io-chicks, make sure you always have the official website. There is basically a video that explains you how to claim your tokens if you did participate in the private sale or the public sale. However, there are also 2 guides on how to buy chicks on Radium and how to buy chicks on Maxi. If we go to this Radium document, there is a video specifically showing you how that works. What is required is that you need to have Solana and a Solana working wallet. So you can choose from the Phantom wallet, Solflare or Slate wallet. I am using the Phantom wallet. So transfer Solana to your Phantom wallet from a exchange where you have bought the Solana. So this could be any of the major exchanges, right? In my example, I have a Binance account and I sent my Solana to my Phantom wallet right here. So then take your address and then you can send it over and then you can connect on Radium, which I am right now. So it's radium.io-swap. You can connect your wallet, right? So I can do that right now. Then I select Phantom. Then it will ask, do you want to connect? And I say connect. And now it has been successfully connected. Then in this scenario, I will select Solana, which I have on this wallet, 6 Solana. And then we select the token, which therefore you would need the token address. So as soon as the token generation event is announced, on all social media channels, Telegram, Discord, Twitter of SolChicks, you will find the contract address. You will paste the contract address here and the SolChicks token comes up. Make sure you have the official contract only communicated by SolChicks. If you don't have the official contract, you might be falling into a scam, which is not what we want. So again, focus on getting the official contract only published by the official SolChicks sources. Then what happens is at the moment that the trading goes live, it will say swap, and then you can swap. Make sure that your slipping tolerance is high enough. So you can click on this gear icon and you can change the slippage. The more trades happen, the more slippage might be required. What happens with the slippage specifically is that it might give more room. So you could say, I want to trade, let's say 1 Solana for X amount. In this example, I will select Radium. So it will say 1 Solana is worth 21 Radium, right? However, if there's too many trades happening on the same time, which you can expect for a listing, right? So this is Radium as per an example. In your case, it would be SolChicks. Then you can increase the slippage here. So let's say to 5% or 10% or 20%, whatever you're comfortable with. And now I will get 21 Radium for 1 Solana, 5% up and 5% down. So I might get more Radium or I might get less Radium depending on how the price moves. This guarantees me, if the slippage is high enough, that my transaction will go through. Otherwise, your transaction might fail. Specifically on a launch, I myself like to use a slippage of at least 15-20% to make sure that if there's a lot of transaction going through, I get to buy what I want, right? That is important for me. So that is something I do. You might want to try the set percentages. You might want to try a lower percentage, but 15 to 20% usually works best for me. So that is basically how the Radium setup works. Now we also have Maxi, and Maxi is a centralized exchange. So here you do not specifically have to swap as per Radium, which is a decentralized exchange. On Maxi, you can use the buying and selling, which looks very much like this, like any other centralized exchange. How to get started with Maxi? You need to create an account first, right? So for Radium, you just need to connect your wallet as it's decentralized. For Maxi, you need to go to sign up and create an account. And then what you can do is basically follow the chart, buy and sell, and it's all explained specifically in this document, right? So I myself will be using the Radium DEX. If you want to use the Maxi centralized exchange, check the link in the description for the full explainer how that works. All right, so now we got that out of the way, how to use Radium and how to use Maxi. If you want to claim your tokens, watch this video specifically that goes over on how to claim. There will be a claiming dashboard. This is only for people who participated in the public or private sale. And then it will show you how to claim. It's really, really simple. Connect your wallet, follow the instructions and claim. Again, this link will be in the description down below. This is only for people who participated in the public or private sale. All right, now let's assume we want to buy more coins, right? More SolChicks coins. What are we going to do? Well, the hypothesis here, because obviously nobody can predict the future, is that we're going to start off with a $5 million market cap. That is the latest information I got from an AMA session on Discord, while the final tokenomics are still being finalized. I want to make a hypothesis for you, so I picked in this scenario 5 million. So the question is, how are we going to create a moonsheet? Basically meaning, how many times do we think, or I think in this scenario, and of course, not financial advice, just my opinion, just an hypothesis, how far can the price go up and what would that mean for your potential buy-in? Where would it be smart to buy the token? Because the price might be moving really fast, right? So we're going to start off with price, and the price starts at 0.05, right? That is where basically everything begins. So in this scenario, so 0.05, which basically gives us a times 1, right, with a market cap in that case of 5 million. So I will link that as well. Let me see if I can make this a currency. Or is it already set to currency? Accounting, currency. Yeah, it's already set to currency. Okay, perfect. So what would happen if it would go times 2? Well, basically take the original price and we go times 2, right? So what's important here is, okay, so here I think we need to put the dot then. 0.5, yeah, there we go. See, now it's currency. What's important is for Excel specifically, you want to put the brackets here so it keeps up with the 5 at a later stage. So this is basically the base plus 1, which is 2, right? So what happens to the market cap? The market cap is the base times the times, which is 2. So this is 10 million, right? Which adds up perfectly fine. In this scenario, you again want to fix the C4 so we can make some Excel magic in the next second. So what would happen if I would say, what if we go all the way to the moon? I want to see 100x, right? 100x. Okay, then we can just drag this out and then it should say $5, right, at 100x. And it does say $5. So this is some Excel magic right here. And then we're going to pull the market cap as well. All right, so the market cap would be 500 million at 100x. So I'm going to take into consideration that that could be potentially the maximum, right, in my hypothesis. So now the question is, what would be a good entry point, right? I'm going to use some colors to explain this because I think that makes it easy for everybody to understand. And I'm going to use the words possible, likely, unlikely to identify that. So as soon as the listing happens, right, with a project of this high demand, I would say it's extremely unlikely that you would be able to buy for the listing price. If you have no experience with these listings, the price usually moves within seconds. You can't even blink or the price is moving, right? There are so many people involved. Look at the overall audience of SolChicks. We're talking a combined audience of over 1 million people, right? Let's say that even only 10% would be interested in participating in the listing. That is you plus 100,000 other individuals. You, me, and probably another 100,000, right? So that would be 100,000 and 2 people watching their screen at the same time, watching the price move, right? Because that is, as an investor, what you do. Of course, let's say you didn't get into the TGE. This is a buying guide for you, where I believe, my opinion, is the opportunity for you to explore. So the entry point here would be amazing, right? I'm going to rate it with some easy words. Amazing, and I will say likelihood that you would be able to get in at this point, unlikely, right? Let's say you do get in at this point, good job, right? I think if I could get in for 5 cents, I would buy a whole nother couple bands at this price, right? So I would say anything under a times 5 would probably, times 4 would be a good entry point, right? Looking at the long-term projection, and when I talk about the holding strategy, I will let you know why specifically I think these numbers would make sense, in my opinion, for a long-term holding strategy. So I think under 10 cents, it would move really quick. So I'll say anything here is unlikely. Then we are moving to great, right? Because, I mean, probably up at 10x would be easy from a $5 million market cap. So I will say great until here, and then change it to possible. Well, possible, maybe what's above possible? I'll say effort. You need to put in some effort to be able to get here, right? Effort basically meaning if the listing is happening at 2 p.m. UTC and there are no further problems, you need to be ready at 2 p.m. UTC. You need your wallet connected, everything, contract address, everything needs to be ready, right? And I'm trying to explain it as simple as possible, as simple as I can. All right, so we have the great scenario where you put in some effort, and then obviously we have the good scenario. And good is basically, I would say, what everybody is looking for, right? So I would say we're looking up to 100 million is still good, and this is likely, right? So then this would be possible. I'm going to change it. So this would be possible, and then this would be likely that would occur. Okay. So basically you want to be within this range specifically for like a good flow. I would even say likely would be a reasonable understanding, if you like. You don't get like sad if you didn't make it, but if you would be around this area, right, then yeah, you did a good job in my opinion, right? You were ready, you were there, but the question is it too late to get in here? So it already has done a 20x. Is there still opportunity? So what you have to realize that this will most likely happen within the first, either the first 30 seconds or the first 10 minutes, right? It depends on the volume of transactions. Nobody can look into the future. Nobody can see what will happen. I think it will happen really quick because there's so much demand and so many transactions. So when we specifically look at what would be a good entry point, right? We go from amazing, great, good to be like normal, right? So I would say anything here up until, let's say up until $3. So we're looking at a 50x here, or 50x, right? So that's a 250 million market cap. And this is what I'm basing on the performance of historic projects on the Solana blockchain. So you got like Genopad, Star Atlas, CryoWall, like major gaming projects which are in the similar space as SolChicks. And if you review their market caps, they are around this range. So I think that this flooding period here is definitely the normal range. If you would go over this, right, depending on how fast it moves, it could get a risk area, right? And risk area, I mean, don't get me wrong, with any investment, there would be risk, right? That's a risk to reward ratio we're all willing to take. Does that mean that this is a bad decision? No. Does it mean you have to be confident? Yes. So I would say here, confidence that you would need to have, well, obviously very low here, because I think anybody would oh, hang on, very high, of course. I think anybody would be willing to buy before a 20x, right? I think that's I think with a project of this scale, I would say the high confidence is still in the normal area. Then we get like a lower than average confidence, right? When it has done 50x on the first day, then obviously major gains have already been made. And then I would say lowest confidence right here. So 75 to 100x. You know, it can happen. SolChicks can do it. There's definitely enough buzz around the project. But for a project to pull that off, then basically I assume if it goes 50, 100x, nobody will ever sell. Everybody will hold on to their tokens, because that is a very, very promising result, right, for the outcome of this project. Now, obviously, the real question is, what would happen if you have the token, right? So what would be the holding strategy, and what would be smart to forecast into the future? Because this is basically the full buying strategy. This is the range you want to be at, in my opinion. And again, what the hell do I know? I'm just a guy recording YouTube videos on cryptocurrencies and NFTs. But I do appreciate you watching this far. What is, I would say, important to understand is the potential roadmap, right? So if we go to SolChicks, things that are important for the holding strategy. So we're going to buy for the potential profit, right? You could buy to potentially play the game, right? You could buy for a holding strategy, which means you're not looking for short-term profits, you're looking for medium, long-term profits. So what are the holding strategies that you could apply, or at least the elements that are important for the holding strategy? It's not strategies, it's just one strategy in my opinion. All right, so we have the third minting, right? And if you don't know what that means, if you go to game features, mint privileges, there have been 2 waves of NFTs, of which the one special one I'm giving away from the first wave. They have higher privileges when it comes down to the airdrops, etc. Right? You get a legendary NFT from a weapon airdrop, really cool. If you have wave 2, you get mythical, and wave 3, you get rare. So it basically, the performance goes down from left to right. However, the wave 3 is coming up for what I foresee in January, right? Has not been confirmed, but I foresee January, right? Then there would be a full demo of the game, which I believe would be Q1, right? Then there would be the full game unleashed somewhere next year, right? Probably after the second, third, fourth quarter, somewhere there in that period. So those are 3 major milestones, right? Now, related to the third minting, right, I'm just going to move this down, is obviously airdrops, right? Why are airdrops so important for the value of your token and the specific value of the NFTs in the project in general? If people are able to get Chicks airdropped, SolCoin airdropped, which is like the in-game, Shard of Loves is the in-game, my bad. You get the Tomes of Power, you got the Tomes of Relearning, you got the exclusive weapons. Then there's a whole stack of in-game benefits, right? People would want these NFTs and they are scarce, right? And if you then introduce the SolChicks token there as well for the ecosystem, that becomes in high demand, right? And if the demand is high, then the value will go up. Right, so I think these airdrops are extremely important for the short term. Right, let me write it, short term. Then the third main thing, I think you got to keep the hype going with the project, right? So the SolChicks marketing team has done extremely well in building up the hype and maintaining that hype throughout the entire process with the extreme growth all the way until the listing, right? We all know this, we've all seen this. So with the third minting, we're basically looking for, that's like how many weeks? 6 weeks out-ish. So I would say that's already like medium term, right? Then this is like long term. Well, full demo, medium long term, I would say. Depends on when it's actually being released, right? Then you have in-game features, right? Which I think are important. Like, for example, breeding, right? Staking, right? Farming, right? What else you have? The breeding, I think, is one of the most important ones. So these are all medium, long-term opportunities, right? Now, if you have this list, right, and this is just the major ones, there's like probably a lot of minor elements as well, which you have to consider, then this is looking extremely healthy for what this game could do in the medium long term, right? The short term we have covered, you know, we've done the first minting, we've done the second minting, the SolChicks token is about to go live in literally less than how long? I'm just gonna pull it up. In less than almost 4 hours, and the event will actually happen. So the short term is completely covered, right? The airdrops will cover the short term. This is basically short, medium term. I'm going to make a little adjustment there. So all the things coming up, what you have to understand is that could potentially add value to the token, right? So if you have bought the token and you're looking for a reason not to sell it, well, this is obviously the main idea, right? This is the main focus. This is the main reasoning. So if you, let's say, have bought in the token generation event, right? So on a private or public sale, I will give you some additional information. If you have done the buying strategy, basically from this point of view, right? Then I would say in that range, in my opinion, you would have made a good decision, right? Now, I'm not going to go over the selling strategy. If that's something that interests you, I have a whole lot of videos on my channel on that already. They're highly detailed with all kinds of information, how things would work, yada, yada, yada. I'm specifically focused myself on the vesting, right? So I can be transparent with you guys. I invested $30,000. So of course I am a serious player for the SolChicks project. I love this project, right? And vesting, so this is like TGE, it's a token generation event, and then you basically have vesting 1, vesting 2, vesting 3, vesting, that's it. 25% every single time. This is 300,000. I think I put 10 too many. Yeah. So basically, what you have to understand as somebody from the public or private sale is that obviously the tokens that you receive, which is in my case 25% worth of my initial investment, so about 7.5K, are, you can do with whatever you want. You could sell, you could keep. There are some benefits to holding, of course, as I portrayed. But you, as an investor, which you knew this when you started, which is amazing, is you are in it for the long term, right? Because we're talking here January, February, March. So these medium short things are extremely important for you, right? Because yes, the token generation event is cool and nice and it's happening, but for the buyers today, for the holders today, and for the potential people who take it from the token generation event that's going to happen in a couple of hours, the medium long term, specifically the medium term, I would say, because the long term, you know, when any game is released, the hype is real, people can actually play it, and we all know how that goes. Usually it just goes, if the game is good, then everything will be good. But up until that point, there are a lot of events happening. So, you know, let's say we end today at $1. Right? Then in January, you might even see $1.50, you might see $2.50, you might see $5, right? In March. Like, I don't know, I'm just writing some numbers right now. But what you would have to understand is that your relation towards this project is tied up in investing, right? So the decisions you make today will have the outcome for your future vesting. That's all I'm going to say about the vesting and the token generation event. So this is basically my full buying strategy if I would buy on the token generation event. I am super excited about the medium long-term potential of this project. I am personally holding 15 NFTs and invested $30,000 into this project. So obviously I think we're going to do really well. I'm going to hold my NFTs for the entire duration up until the game is live, because I am looking forward specifically to the breeding. I got some couple of rare NFTs, so that breeding will definitely help me create my SolChicks army and become a SolChicks general. Don't forget to like this video, participate in the giveaway by subscribing, and of course commenting your SolChicks price prediction. What is going to happen today? What do you think about this project, long-term vision? How much are you going to buy? But specifically the moon sheet. How many X's are we going to receive today on the launch? Comment down in the comments below and you will be eligible to receive, specifically this amazing, well, if it would allow me to enter my wallet. It doesn't. Oh, I have my caps lock on. Guys, I'm too hyped today. I'm too caffeinated. SolChicks number 866. The first minting SolChicks with tremendous power and high airdrops. It has very cool Nike shoes and a little suit and tie situation going on. So if you want to win that, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to this launch. I'm hyped, I'm pumped, and I hope you are as well. More updates on SolChick coming this week, so don't forget to check back at the later stage. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.